Hello and welcome to the book review blog. I am your book reviewer, and today we're going to review the book Brave Girl Eating, A Family Struggle with Anorexia by Harriet Brown. If you remember in my last blog, I was at the library looking for a different book, and this one kind of caught my eye because of the cover. Those of you who are familiar with the book series Twilight, that the cover kind of looks like the first book in that, which is called Twilight, which is hands reaching out holding an apple. I was like, why is Twilight or something like it in kind of the new books area? And so I picked it up and saw it, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot, I'll read it. And it was kind of difficult to read because, again, anorexia is a kind of depressing topic, so it was kind of depressing, I'm sorry to say. But anyway, it's about a family, and the mother's name is never mentioned, but I'm assuming it is non-fictional, so the mother might be Harriet Brown, and her daughter Kitty, and she's got a husband named Jamie and another daughter who's younger named Emma. And Kitty is the one who suffers from anorexia. The mother noticed this on Mother's Day. Actually, Kitty is a very athletic girl and was in gymnastics and everything. And she's always been very thin, but one day during Mother's Day weekend, the family all took a bike ride, and Kitty just couldn't do it, and she was just very weak, and so it got canceled, and then and she hardly ate anything, and later that evening she came into her parents' bedroom and said, "Mommy, my heart hurts," and so they took her to the emergency room, and it was kind of diagnosed that she had anorexia. And so then this mother just went, of course, kind of panicked and went into hyperdrive, where she just did a whole bunch of research on it and found out what works and what doesn't. And she, of course, came across, a lot of people die from anorexia, and even if they start to gain weight, they eventually die. And she's like, I'm not going to let that happen to my daughter. I'm going to do something. And so she found psychiatrists and psychologists and things like that, and she worked with their family pediatrician on this, and she came across this type of treatment called family-based treatment, where the whole family is involved, and they don't eat necessarily as much as her, but this is instead of taking somebody to kind of a rehabilitation place, or kind of a camp, I guess, where that does have results, the book says, but then the results are not very often long-term, because you're there with other people who are anorexic, and they've said that they, can come up with different ways of hiding their anorexia or not eating together, whereas with the family-based treatment, that it's a little harder to do. And so they upped her calorie intake. The normal calorie intake, they say, for somebody is about 2,000 calories a day. They upped it up, the first time they upped it up to about 2,500 calories a day, where they would just add in extra snacks and things like that, and it would all be high calorie stuff. She had remarked that's very hard, because America as a whole is really consumed with getting the things that are low in fat and low in calorie, and so she had to do the opposite. She had to find things that were high in calorie and just try and help her daughter. And eventually, yes, it works, and her daughter's weight does go up, and not to her mother's liking, so they end up upping her calorie intake to about 3,000 calories, and by the end of the book she's up to 4,000 calories, which is double what the recommended or the average amount is, as I just said. And so that was remarkable, because I was thinking, wait, you're almost going to give her a heart attack or something, because she's filling up with like milkshakes and cookies and desserts and things like that, and more like pasta, and instead of like maybe probably like something like fettuccine alfredo or something that's really high in calories, rather than maybe like grilled chicken or broiled or grilled fish or things like that. And they Kitty does fight it. There are times where at the beginning she does fight it, like, why are you doing this to me? I'm too fat. You want me to be fat, and so they've read up on how to handle that situation, just saying, you're doing it, this is required for you, and so eventually she does, begrudgingly at first, she'll take, an hour to drink a milkshake and things like that, and then eventually she does go where she eats at a faster pace, and the demon of anorexia is what it's penned here, appears less and less, where that the demon is, you're getting me fat, I can't do this, why are you doing this to me? And because she's like, that's not my daughter isn't like that. So this book was really good if you, like I said, it's kind of depressing, but if you are like a parent with an anorexic child, or with a child with anorexia, should put the person always first, and you are looking for help, I think this book is good, because like I said, she does do a lot of research, and she does put the research in this book, where she talks about studies that have done, and that's how she found out about family-based treatment, was reading a study and reading experiments and things like that they did. So I liked that aspect of it. And again, as far as I know, I could be completely naive, but as far as I know, anorexia has really never affected anybody in my family, so, but it was good to read how it happens, just in case something like this does. So, anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review. And for my next book, this was actually the book I was looking for, and I ended up borrowing it from my mother. It's a book that's called Heaven is for Real. I learned about it through my church, and I was really excited to read it. So that's it. I bid you all a happy day and happy reading.